Getting rid of bad habits. It may seem like, are we ever going to change? Why are we going back to the same habits? Even if we're good for a week or two, then we go back to our old habits. Is change actually possible? And can it be maintained? Can we develop a new nature? We can easily have these thoughts, and it's very normal to give up. It's very normal to look at mistakes and failures and just stay down. But we must ultimately know that true failure is not failing. True failure is not being down or going down. True true failure is actually staying down. So not being able to get back up. And we want to be able to actually change and maintain the change, and it is absolutely possible. Despite your background, despite your habits, despite if you did something for 20, 30 years, the beauty of a human being is that change is possible. And that is why we don't really um, need to label people. We're not supposed to label people. She's lazy, he's dumb, because people change. People can develop intelligence. People can develop attributes of enthusiasm, attributes of productivity, and they're not lazy anymore. They're not dumb anymore. So we don't want to label people. However, I'm going to share with you 10 practical tips on how to develop better habits, how to overcome and get rid of bad habits. Okay, number one, you want to have an affirmation. An affirmation is a statement that you remind yourself about, and it keeps you going. It keeps you going towards your goal. For example, if you want to work on being a happier person, you can have the affirmation, say it over and over. I define myself as a happy person. And you could post this motto around your house, in your bedroom, in the restroom, somewhere where you could see it often, in the hallway, going down the stairs, in the car, and it could remind you about this affirmation that will keep you going. And it doesn't matter if you are a happy person yet, it's about you developing increased happiness and defining yourself as a happy person. Okay. Number two is wishing people this quality. So if you wish to be happy, you wish other people to be happy. You bless them with happy lives, good lives, lives basimcha, as we say in Hebrew, lives that are happy and joyous. And if you wish this upon others, your prayer will be answered first. That's what we learn in Judaism. Whatever you wish upon others, you will be blessed with first. Number three is act it out. As if you're happy, act as though you are happy. And what happens is when you consistently act that way, you develop a balance. You're in the middle. Versus if a person is always upset, always depressed, meaning not chronically or medically depressed, or just feeling constantly down, and you act as if you're happy, and even though it doesn't make sense, even if you don't really feel the happiness, if you act as if, you will actually act happier, right, than you usually did in the past. Okay, number four. Number four is a coach and accountability person. Accountability person. So a coach is someone who you ask for advice. It could be a life coach, someone who actually monitors your happiness, someone who you are accountable for. So you are, meaning you're accountable for yourself, but you account to this person. At the end of the day, you can tell this person how you did today. When did you feel less happy? So we're just really focusing on one attribute, happiness. It could be your temper, it could be impatience, it could be raising your voice, which are all attributes of anger, but they're on the same umbrella. But if you want to work on a certain habit that you have, you can uh, always focus on it in different ways. And these practical tips are really for you to cater them to your personality and what you can do, what you feel comfortable with in overcoming this goal. Okay, so the coach or accountability person is someone, it could be your sister, it could be someone who you trust, a life coach, someone who's going to check up on you at the end of the day and ask you how you truly were that day. Okay, number five is pre sleep conditioning. Pre-sleep conditioning is actually when you kind of imagine how you're going to act the next day. You know your schedule, more or less. You know that you wake up, you have your morning routine, you have your afternoon list of things to do, you have your night routine, and you know more or less your schedule, and you're going through the motions in your head, imagining exactly how you're going to act. The more details in this exercise, the better, and you're actually creating a reality in your head that's easier to access when it actually happens, when the next day actually comes. So hopefully this will give you a better start. It's like when you put your foot in the mud. Not that you're gonna probably do that, but it's easier to step in the mud when already the foot is kind of stenciled out, into it. So it's in the same way when you go through the motions, it's easier to actually get right into them and act that part when the time comes. Okay. So number six is learn from people who were able to adapt this trait. So learn from happy people. Ask them why. How are you so happy? How are you consistently happy? And no matter what challenge comes your way, you know how to kind of balance yourself and get back to happiness and be a happy person. And learn from their life stories. You could mirror them, mirror people who you admire, act the way they act, pretend that you're them. And in this way, you'll develop the trait of happiness even better. Okay, number seven is reward yourself for every small step or small success. Okay, especially when we're just developing a new trait, we want to be able to reward ourselves, right? We want to be able to um, give ourselves credit. And if you don't give yourself credit, give yourself some kind of a reward, then what happens is you're most likely to stop. You're most likely to give up. So you want to give yourself some kind of reward, whether it's monetary, whether it's time away, whether it's an ice cream cone, something that you would enjoy and reward yourself. You can also, in this step, you can also put reminders on your phone 3 times a day to kind of become aware of your successes and efforts, and you could write it in your journal. So you could, ask your phone to remind you 3 times a day to stop and think, review your success, at least one success that you had in the past few hours, and then the next few hours you'll have another reminder. So maybe like a 12 o'clock, a 3 o'clock, a 9 o'clock, and you'll be able to reflect on it and actually become aware of your successes mindfully. Okay, number 8 is no comparisons. You live your unique life. Nobody has your life. Oftentimes when we have a goal, we're like, okay, so I'm not as patient as she is, or I can't do the things she does, or I don't have the resources. And what if I had a life like this? I would do this. And you know what? You have your unique life. You're not supposed to be like anybody else. So to keep our lives in check, knowing that we are actually unique, we live unique lives, we have unique abilities, capabilities, pros and cons in our character, that's actually going to help us be the person we're meant to become. So we want to be able to be realistic with our life circumstances. So if you're working on becoming more patient and you have such a difficult child, maybe you have a special needs child, maybe you have a bunch of children, maybe you have a life circumstance that lends itself to so much stress, and you work on being calm or soft spoken, versus a person who doesn't have children, really doesn't really have financial stresses. That's really a different goal for that person. So we can't compare ourselves to other people, and we only live our lives. So someone who actually has a lot of stress in their lives, but their personality is much calmer than yours, and for you to work on being calm, it's a lot more work even with a little bit of stress, and it's fine. Life is not a competition. It wasn't meant to be, but we subconsciously and unconsciously compare ourselves to others, and we need to just retrack our brain and refocus on our own unique life track. Okay, so number nine is identify yourself as a master of this habit. And my suggestion is to print out a certificate Let's say you are trying to master patience. So you're going to say, I'm the master of patience. Master of Patience Award. They have these sample certificates online. Master of Patience Award. And you're going to actually put your picture in it. You're going to have your signature in it. Make it yours. And you're going to post it somewhere where you can look at, somewhere where you could say, I'm the master of this trait. And you know what? Maybe you're not the master yet. Maybe you're just starting out, and that's fine. But you're going to actually refer to yourself as the master of, let's say, patience, master of calmness, master of happiness. And it doesn't mean you have a bounce to your step all the time with happiness, but you're serene, you're calm, um, you're balanced. So that's really happiness in a gist. So you put your picture in it, you put your signature. I'm the master of, let's say, patience. And this will help you to say, you know what, I really want to be that person. And you're going to see yourself as that person. Even if you don't master this skill, you'll become much better at it. Okay. Okay, number 10. Build yourself up and enjoy the journey. We are not here to accomplish in this world. We're here to try. We're here to put in effort. A person who's has a, you know, 2.5 car garage, a huge house, 3.5 children, and lives in the suburbs is not more accomplished than someone who doesn't have all that, who lives by means that are much, less abundant. They're not more successful. Hashem gives everybody what they need, right? So what we want to do is we want to enjoy the journey of our life, enjoy the journey of pursuing our character traits. So as long as you're trying, you're a success. Build yourself up. If you're constantly putting yourself down, it's hard to build yourself up. So I would suggest 3 times a day to talk to yourself. Recognize your success. Recognize your efforts. Say one thing that you did that was actually showing how you enhanced your patience, enhanced your calmness or happiness. Okay, encourage yourself with positive word power. Look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Positive word power. Remember, staying in a positive state as long as you are trying. This is positivity. We're here to exert effort. And everyone has different challenges and capabilities, and we must know that we are unique. As long as effort and want is expressed, we show Hashem, we tell Hashem, I want to be patient. I'm not there yet. I want to be patient. I want to be calm. I'm not there yet. Please, Hashem, help me. Please enable me. You're already halfway there. So then Hashem is going to help you and enable you to pursue that goal as long as you're doing your best. And be proud of how much effort you're exerting. Be proud of being your best and don't give up. Many of these ideas are taken from Rabbi Zelik Pliskin's book on happiness. I hope that we'll be able to get rid of bad habits more easily and adopt a better nature. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming. Awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.